Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome back to our discussion on the Tawaruq deposit. I have mentioned earlier that there is a very dark or stark similarity between the Tawaruq deposit and the riba-based conventional deposit. If you look at the diagram over here, if you look at Tawaruq FD of 1,000 as well as conventional FD at 1,000, so the product at the PDS will disclose a rate of 3% per annum for Tawaruq FD as well as the same for conventional FD, and the tenure of 12 months for both. The income generated from this placement for Islamic, it will be $3,000. Deposit placement multiplied by the rate multiplied by the number of days, and the interest income is for conventional FD is 3,000, and the Tawaruq FD will disclose a sale price which is equivalent to the debt the bank owe the depositor. How much the depositor will redeem at maturity will be 103, which is the sum of the placement plus the profit. Likewise, for conventional FD, the depositor will get 103,000, the sum of the interest income of 3,000 and 100,000 of deposit placement. And we know very well that when you enter into the contract of deposit for Tawaruq, on day one, on the 1st April, when we enter into the contract, then you are guaranteed a redemption of the deposit full, at 103,000. Likewise, the conventional FD also guarantee the depositor to obtain 103,000. So there is very clear, similarity between the two FD. One is Islamic, the other is riba, but this is a very disturbing situation because Tawaruq FD is based on sale, whereas conventional FD is based on riba. So how could these two products be identical, producing the same outcome, the same benefit to the depositors and to the bank? So something is fishy here. So we need to further analyze what was done by the Islamic bank in order to make the Tawaruq FD to be similar and to be competitive with the conventional FD, but unfortunately, compromising on the Islamic value and Islamic law. Now, what has happened here is that the coercion, because Tawaruq is an organized system between the bank and the depositors and the vendors to ensure that the customer gets the same the same outcome or the same benefit that is available in the riba-based FD. So in order to do that, something need to be tweaked and rearranged in such a manner that the Tawaruq FD will produce the same benefits as the conventional riba-based FD. So what has happened here is that the Tawaruq system, that in the Tawaruq system, the MPA CPO price at $1,000 per ton is used for the MSA CPO price. Right? So as I said, this is what organized Tawaruq is all about. It is a coercion among the counterparties to deny the MSA sale based on market prices. So what should be done by the Islamic bank is that the MSA price, the master sale agreement, should be based on the market prices. So if the market price is above $1,000 per ton or below $1,000 per ton, then that should be the way to contract the MSA. However, this is not true happening because the current Tawaruq system have imposed on the $1,000 price used in the MPA contract. But let us see what will happen to the Tawaruq when the MSA CPO price are based on current market prices. Now, let us say that during the master sale agreement, the CPO price has risen from $1,000 to $1,002. So in the MSA, the bank sell the CPO to vendor 2 at $1,000 at $1,200 per ton, and thus the proceed will be $120,000. So this $120,000 is actually the deposit placement made by the depositor. But the problem here is that this placement has been conducted earlier under the MPA contract, where under the MPA contract, the bank have contracted the amount of 100,000 agreed upon earlier with the depositor, and not 120,000, right? So the MPA contract that was conducted before MSA has specified that the deposit is 100,000, but the MSA now has already have already registered a price deposit placement of 120, and this is the problem because the bank will be in trouble as the customer has deposited a sum of 100K that was made earlier in the master purchase agreement. So based on this situation where the price is above $1,000 per ton, the objective of deposit placement is not met because the placement should be 120K, but the placement has already been committed at 100,000 in the MPA agreement. So this is one of the downside that the bank will face if they were to follow market prices for MSA. Now, what will happen if the market price has fallen below $1,000 per ton to $800 per ton? So when that is true, we can see that the bank will sell the CPO to vendor 2 at $800 per ton, and the proceed of the sale is 80,000. But that is not enough because the placement should be $100,000 that was verified in the MPA agreement earlier, right? So the bank received 80,000 and not 100,000, but the MPA was earlier contracted at $100,000 plus the $3,000 profit margin, giving us a total redemption amount of 103. So at 80,000, the total redemption amount of 103 will not be met, and this again is another downside that the bank will have to remedy, how to retrieve or to find a way out of this problem where the amount of deposit placement is insufficient to cover what was conducted under the MPA. So the objective of the MPA is not met by the lower 80,000 deposit placement. So because of this instability in the Tawaruq product, that the Islamic Bank would want to run away, and therefore they are forced to ensure that the MSA price must be equal to the MPA price. Otherwise, the Tawaruq product will be unstable and it cannot be used to compete with the fixed deposit offered by conventional banking. And thus we see that this is an unfortunate event for Islamic banking to compromise and to tolerate the adjustment of the contract to defy the market forces and also to defy the rule of sale in muamalat. Indeed, this is a big tragedy for Islamic Bank that we hope we can find immediate remedy to ensure that customer will be able to to benefit from Islamic banking services, but not getting it by compromising on the Islamic value and Sharia value that we mostly cherish, inshallah. So please comment on my discussion here, and don't forget to subscribe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.